Okay, the Board of Education will call this meeting to order at 5:30 on October 8th, 2025. And Isela, will you please take the roll?
Board Member Cruz?
Present.
Board Member Cuarenta is unable to be with us tonight. Board Member Martinez?
Present.
Vice President Clerk De Leon?
Present.
President Anderson?
Present. I will take a motion to approve the agenda of the regular meeting for October 8th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved by Martinez, second by De Leon. We're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. 1.4, public comment on closed session agenda items. Do we have any comments this evening?
I do not have any blue cards for closed session.
Okay. As we go into closed session, we will discuss 2.1 conference with labor negotiator per government code section 54957. 2.2 conference with legal counsel anticipated litigation per government code 54956.9 parts D and 2. And 2.3 public employee discipline dismissal release per government code section 54957. And the time is 5:32, and we'll be back. Oh, okay, we're back in open session and the time is 6:30 p.m. And the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Dr. Amanda Bentley, Director of Secondary Education. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So in closed session, the board took following or action on the following: to suspend without pay a permanent classified employee identified as JE1262924 beginning October 18th, 2025, pending an evidentiary hearing to be conducted by a third-party hearing officer as the board's designee. The roll call vote was as follows: 4 ayes, and we have 1 absent. It was motioned by Cruz, second by De Leon, to follow this order. Okay, moving on to public hearings. Do I have any blue cards this evening?
We do have blue cards this evening, President.
Okay. So persons wishing to address the board should fill out a blue card located on the table by the door and submit the card to the secretary. Speakers will be called in sequence during the hearing section, which is limited to 1 hour, with each speaker to a presentation of up to 3 minutes. The board cannot engage in public discussion during this portion of the agenda. Staff will follow up and address public inquiries if contact information is provided. Those who have a group concern are encouraged to select a spokesperson to address the board. Persons wishing to address the board on a specific agenda item at the time the item is under discussion are limited to 3 minutes each and will be called to speak following the staff comments and prior to the board's discussion and taking action.
Okay, our first blue card is from Monica Manglikma.
Oh, sorry. I am a teacher, ILT member, and a TAP rep at Roosevelt School. I am here this evening to ask for your support on an issue that directly impacts the quality of instruction in our classrooms. Elementary teachers are responsible for instructional planning across many subjects: ELD, universal access in reading, universal access in math, writing, social studies, science, mandated PE minutes, mathematics, and now we have implementation of a brand new language arts program. Despite these extensive responsibilities, we are allotted only 45 minutes of planning time every 2 weeks, which amounts to just 22.5 minutes per week of planning time. We have collaboration days every other week, which have traditionally been a very valuable opportunity for teachers to plan together, create common assessments, discuss pacing, share strategies, and refine our delivering of our curriculums. In the past, these sessions provided 2 full hours of meaningful, teacher-driven collaboration. Our teams created the agendas and focused on what mattered most, which was improving, and still is, our student learning. However, the current structure of collaboration days has shifted significantly. At the last TAP rep meeting, it was shared by most elementary representatives that teachers no longer create the agendas, and much of our time is now spent completing tasks determined by administration. These tasks are also not consistent across schools in the district. The focus has now moved away from instructional planning and collaboration. Our contract clearly states that some of our time and collaboration can be used for professional development led by administration. Yet currently, most of our collaboration days is consumed by administration directives rather than teacher collaboration. Tonight, I respectfully request that the district return collaboration days to teachers, allowing us to use this time as it was originally intended for planning, sharing best practices, ensuring instructional consistency across our grade levels. Professional development could instead be scheduled during minimum days, preserving the integrity and purpose of collaboration days for teachers' team success. Thank you for your time and your continued support of teachers and students in Paramount.
Thank you.
Next, we have Garrett Leeper. Sorry about that.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, the executive cabinet, students and their families. I've been chosen by my coworkers at Buena Vista to be tonight's sacrificial lamb. My name is Garrett Lepper. In these times of fiscal constraints, priorities must be set and compromises made. Yet when it comes to Buena Vista, we must remember our students are worth every cent. Numbers alone, devoid of context, can't measure the value of Buena Vista or the students we serve. Metrics like cost per pupil or classroom utilization don't tell the real story. In fact, it's often those very measures that failed our students in the first place. The students who come to Buena Vista are not here because they lack ability or motivation. They are here because the traditional school system, through no single fault, has not met their needs. Their previous experiences, sometimes even within our own district, have left them behind despite our collective efforts. Think of it like maintaining a car. If we neglect the basics, the costs only grow over time. 3 times I've let the oil run out of my car and had the engine repaired. So when essential care is delayed, repair becomes not only necessary, but costly. At Buena Vista, we welcome students who arrive in their senior year with 10 credits. That means from 9th to 11th grade, they passed 2 classes. That's not a failure of the student. It's a sign that the system doesn't work for them. When those students walk through our doors, they're not beginning a single school year or 2. They're beginning a process of restoration. Our task isn't just to teach 11th or 12th grade students, it's to help recover years of lost opportunity. Buena Vista fulfills the district's moral and legal responsibility to those students and their families. We at Buena Vista are being asked to do in 1 year or 2 years what should have happened over many, to address years of disrupted learning, personal hardship, and systematic gaps. And we do it with 16 teachers teaching 66 classes, working every day to re-engage, rebuild, renew, and re-inspire. With this in mind, Buena Vista is the most cost-effective school in the district. So when thinking of the mission of Buena Vista, let's not view it as a 1 or 2 year short-term expense. The district isn't paying for a single or 2 years of education. You are investing in the recovery of years, even maybe a decade of lost learning, in the repair of systematic failures, inequalities, inequities that stretch far beyond the classroom. Every dollar spent at Buena Vista supports not just instruction, but remediation, restoration, and renewal. In the district's commitment to its students and their family made real to help every student reclaim the education they should have always had. And I know you're curious, it costs $5,763 to rebuild the engine on a white Subaru Forester. But thank you, have a good night.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ana Lilia Larios.
Buenas noches a todos.
Good evening, everybody.
Estimada mesa directiva, me dirijo a ustedes como madre preocupada
Dear Board of Directors, I am speaking to you as a concerned mother
por esta situación que estoy pasando con mi hijo.
about this situation I am experiencing with my son.
Este cambio en el cual ustedes tomaron su decisión
This change in which you guys have decided,
un cambio drástico e innecesario
it is a drastic and unnecessary change
para transportar a mi hijo.
for transporting my son.
Quisiera tomar mi voz
I would like to speak
como voz
on behalf of my son.
de mi hijo
Mhm. Siga.
quis- de mi- cuánto ha perjudicado
In which it has affected
su asistencia
his attendance
y su ámbito emocional
and his emotional well-being,
y en mi ámbito laboral.
and as well as my own work situation.
Les pido,
I'm asking,
necesitamos nuestro transporte
we need our transportation,
seguro.
our safe transportation.
Hoy les pido que escuchen
Today I ask that you listen
mi petición
my request
en empatía
with empathy
y respeto.
and respect.
Nuestro transporte
Our transportation
antes
before,
eran personas
they were people,
responsables,
they were responsible
Res-
people,
respetuosas
respectful,
y lo más importante,
and most importantly,
personas seguras,
safe people,
de confianza
whom I trusted,
para confiar
who I trusted with,
a mi hijo.
my son.
Espero
I hope
que hoy puedan escuchar mi voz,
that today you can hear my voice,
que es la voz de mi hijo
which is the voice of my son
y por muchos padres
and the voice of many parents
que hoy también están preocupados por esta situación.
who are today also worried about the situation.
Y les pido empatía
I ask for empathy
para los más afectados
for the ones that are most affected,
que han sido los niños.
that have been the children.
Y en agradecimiento
And I'm thankful
por su atención y amabilidad,
for your kindness and your attention.
tomen en cuenta mi voz una vez más.
Please take my voice into consideration once again.
En empatía
With empathy,
para cualquier decisión que tomen
whenever you make any decisions
hacia los más vulnerables,
towards our most vulnerable,
que son los niños especiales.
who are our special needs children.
Gracias por su atención a cada uno
Thank you for your attention, each and every one of you,
y buena noche.
and good night.
Thank you.
Next, we have Angelica Vasquez.
Buenas noches, superintendente, mesa directivo y público.
Good evening, Superintendent, Board of Directors, and public.
Me dirijo a ustedes para expresar mi profunda preocupación con respecto al cambio de transportación escolar de Fiesta Taxi a Uber Driver.
I am speaking to you today to express my deep concern regarding the change of the school transportation from Fiesta Taxi to EverDriver
Que ustedes eligieron y asignaron para los estudiantes de educación especial del distrito.
that you guys have assigned and chosen for the transportation of this district's special needs students.
Desde el anuncio del cambio hemos notado una falta de organización y comunicación hacia los padres.
Since the announcement of the change, we have noticed a lack of organization and communication with parents.
Como en el caso de mi hija, se había establecido como fecha de inicio el día de mañana, octubre 9, pero fue cancelada sin previo aviso ni explicación alguna.
In the case of my daughter, her transportation was scheduled to start as of tomorrow, October 9th, but it was canceled without prior notice or any explanation.
Esta situación ha generado confusión e incertidumbre, especialmente considerando que este transporte es esencial para que los estudiantes con discapacidades puedan asistir a la escuela de manera segura y puntual.
The situation has generated confusion and uncertainty, especially considering that the transportation is essential so that students with disabilities can attend to school safely and on time.
Además, me preocupa gravemente haber observado un video donde un conductor de la nueva compañía estaba jalando a un estudiante que se había tirado al piso porque se quería subir al taxi de la antigua compañía.
In addition, I am seriously concerned to have seen a video where a driver of this new company was pulling a student who had thrown herself on the floor because she wanted to get on the old company's taxi.
Este tipo de manejo es completamente injustificable, especialmente cuando nuestros niños requieren apoyo, paciencia y entrenamiento especializado por parte del personal de transporte.
This kind of handling is completely unjustifiable, especially when our children require support, patience, and specialized training from transportation personnel.
Ante estos hechos, ¿ustedes pensaron en nuestros hijos antes de tomar esta decisión? ¿O solo por fines económicos pusieron a los niños en una posición tan vulnerable?
Given these facts, did you think about our children before making this decision, or was it just for economic purposes? You put the children in such a vulnerable position.
Nos gustaría saber qué medidas de seguridad y capacitación está implementando el distrito para garantizar que los conductores y asistentes de transporte estén debidamente entrenados para trabajar con nuestros estudiantes.
We would like to know what safety and training measures the district is implementing to ensure that drivers and transportation assistants are properly trained to work with our students.
Como padres confiamos que nuestros hijos están seguros durante su transporte escolar, pero este incidente deja mucho que pensar y me lleva a preguntarles, ¿hicieron la mejor elección?
As a parent, we trust that our children are safe during their school transport, but this incident leaves a lot to think about, and it leads me to ask, did you really make the best choice?
Por último, la compañía Driving le dijo a mi esposo ayer que revisará todos los días si hay un chofer asignado a mi hija. Eso es inaceptable. No se puede confiar la transportación de mi hija a una compañía que depende de un chofer acepte transportarla o no, como si fuera un Uber.
And finally, the EverDriver company told my husband that it will check for him to check every day in case there is a driver assigned to my daughter. This is completely unacceptable. We cannot entrust my daughter's transportation to a company that depends on whether a driver agrees or is available to transport her or not, like in Uber.
Muchas gracias. Esperamos que seamos escuchados como padres.
Thank you, and I hope our voices are being heard as parents.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Monica Rodriguez.
Buenas noches, miembros del board, superintendente y audiencia presente.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, and audience.
Quiero expresar mi profunda preocupación y de una forma traer a la mesa una queja con respecto a dos situaciones recientes que considero inapropiadas.
Today, I want to express my deep concern and bring to the table a complaint about two recent situations that I consider inappropriate and worrying.
Y preocupantes en relación con la educación y el trato hacia mi hijo, estudiante de la high school en el programa de educación especial y que cuenta con un IEP vigente.
This worry is related to education and how my son has been treated. My son, a 9th grade student in high school, special education program, who is an IEP student.
En primer lugar, el pasado 2 de octubre recibí una llamada de una enfermera del distrito.
First, on October 2nd, I received a call from a district nurse
que tenía como objetivo actualizar la información de mi hijo.
whose objective was to update my son's information.
Me preguntó que si mi hijo todavía tiene autismo.
She asked if my son still had autism.
Considero esta pregunta una falta de respeto y de profesionalismo,
I consider this question disrespectful and unprofessional,
además de una burla hacia la condición de mi hijo.
and even mocking towards my son's condition.
Este tipo de comentarios no son apropiados ni conscientes con el deber ético y profesional de dicha enfermera.
This type of comment is neither appropriate nor consistent with the ethical and professional duty of a nurse,
que trabaja con estudiantes con discapacidades y al parecer no está enterada que el autismo es un trastorno del neurodesarrollo que dura toda la vida.
who works with students with disabilities, and it seems she is not even aware that autism is a lifelong neurodevelopmental disorder.
En segundo lugar, el viernes 3 de octubre,
Secondly, on Friday, October 3rd,
durante mi visita de observación a la clase de Arte 2 de Educación General,
during my classroom observation visit to my son's general education art class,
el maestro realizó comentarios igualmente preocupantes.
the teacher made an equally concerning comment.
Manifestó dudas sobre si mi hijo sabía dónde estaba,
He expressed doubts as to whether my son knew where he was.
si podía diferenciar la escuela de la casa,
He asked if he could tell the difference between school and home,
e indicó que no podía otorgar calificaciones porque la oficina se lo había ordenado
and said he couldn't grade him because the office had told him not to.
y que solo le pondría pasó o no pasó.
And he would just indicate pass or fail.
Además expresó que no entendía por qué habían colocado a mi hijo en su clase, ya que era una clase más avanzada y no tenía los conocimientos básicos de Arte 1.
He also said he didn't understand why my son had been placed in his class since it was a more advanced class and that he lacked the basic knowledge.
Estos comentarios reflejan una falta de comprensión sobre la inclusión
These comments reflect a lack of understanding about inclusion
y de la responsabilidad de este maestro en la implementación del propósito del IEP.
and the responsibility each teacher has in implementing the IEP's purpose,
Que es un contrato legal,
which is a legal contract,
además de una mala actitud que puede afectar el ambiente educativo y el respeto hacia el derecho que tienen los estudiantes de educación especial
In addition, it shows an attitude that can negatively affect the educational environment, and it violates the respect and rights of a student in special education
a educarse en entornos menos restrictivos con los apoyos y adaptaciones necesarias.
to learn in less restrictive environments with the proper supports and accommodations.
Me sorprende que esta situación aún ocurra en la escuela,
I am surprised that this situation still occurs in a school,
donde el distrito cada año gasta fondos en celebrar la Semana de Discapacidades, hablan de inclusión, se ponen camisetas de colores según cada discapacidad,
where the district spends funds every year to celebrate Disability Week. They talk about inclusion, they wear colorful t-shirts according to each disability,
pero se olvidan de lo más importante que deberían usar esos fondos en asegurarse que no solo el personal de educación, en asegurarse en capacitar no solo al personal de educación especial, sino al personal del distrito, a todo el personal del distrito.
but they forget that the most important thing that those funds should be used to is to ensure that not only special education staff, but all staff receive adequate training
Para que reciban una capacitación adecuada en sensibilidad,
to receive adequate training in sensitivity,
profesionalismo e inclusión de estudiantes con discapacidades,
professionalism, and inclusion of students with disabilities,
porque al parecer no están conscientes
because apparently they are not aware
de los derechos y las leyes que amparan a los estudiantes de educación especial.
of the rights and the laws that protect special education students.
Y ya para terminar, también estoy bien preocupada con transportación. La semana pasada fue un desorden total, no información. Tuve que exigir que me dejaran hablar con un supervisor de la compañía porque decían que el contrato era no más con el distrito y ellos, y se me hace una falta de respeto porque al final del día los clientes son los estudiantes y tienen trabajo por los clientes que son los estudiantes. Muchas gracias, buenas noches.
And lastly, I do want to talk about the transportation that has been a disaster. Last week, they stated that because it was a contract between the district and the company, not with the families, they couldn't really give me any information. And it seems that they forget that the clients are the students, and therefore communication should be transparent with parents.
Thank you.
And the last card is from, is it Mary's? Mari Sade.
Good evening. My name is Mari Sadi, and I'm a special education teacher at Zamboni. In January, I will have worked for PUSD for 10 years, and in that time, I've seen some promising trends like an increase in inclusion, early adoption of technology, and a beautiful new building at Zamboni. I've also seen concerning trends around pushing staff at school sites to continually do more with less. For example, I was hired as a resource specialist with co-taught classes and a resource period to support students in small groups and one-on-one as needed. And now my role is a mild moderate special ed teacher with a mix of co-taught classes and special education classes with no extra period to support students. We used to be a team of 6 special ed teachers. Now we are 5. I have 18 students on my caseload, and after planning, grading, assessing students, working on IEPs, and holding meetings, there's very little time left over to give to any of those 18 students. I don't know if parents are aware of this shift in our middle and high school model, but I miss the days when I could build stronger connections with students and better individualize their supports with my resource period. Without teachers having that resource period, more has fallen onto our counselors to support students. But at Zamboni, our 3rd counselor was moved to another school site, leaving us with 2 counselors to support 600 students. This has left counselors very little time to provide students with higher behavioral and mental health needs support. When students exhibit these higher needs, we're told to consult with our school psychologist, who is at 2 different school sites, and our special ed coach, who's assigned to our site 1 half day per week. It can take weeks to a month to gather as a team, to meet as a team, gather data, conduct observations, and decide on next steps, which might include our district mental health therapist, who has a caseload of 25 students across 8 school sites, and our behavior specialist, who's shared between 6 different school sites. Again, establishing communication, sharing concerns, and finding time to meet with these support providers when they're stretched so thin can take weeks or months. And we have students who need more support now, students who are exhibiting very concerning behaviors now. But when everyone across the spectrum of supports is doing more and more with less, we have to hold out hope that students don't escalate too seriously while we're waiting to get the team together. I say all of this because my concern is that staffing decisions are being made by looking at numbers and spreadsheets and not by spending time on campuses with students or by talking to teachers, support staff, and families. Our students deserve adequate support from us all, not patchwork support from staff at school sites who are being stretched to their breaking point. This trend of everyone being pushed to do more with less is extremely
I'm sorry,
concerning.
the 3 minutes for public comment has ended.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, that was the last.
That's
card
the
for
last.
this evening.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to employee representative reports. Tap. Welcome.
Good evening, Board President Anderson, board members, Dr. Lytle, Executive Cabinet, TAP, and CSEA members, and the greater Paramount community. I am Ardelia Dee Dee Aldridge, the President for Teachers Association of Paramount, giving our October report. Well, October is here, and we're still celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through the 15th, and I want to highlight the faculty and staff and students who put on a wonderful Hispanic Heritage celebration at Alondra Middle School. The cultural performances and the presentations by students were excellent and truly highlighted the bold and beautiful Hispanic culture and heritage here in Paramount. It also highlights our dual immersion program that is quickly filling up here. We want to highlight our hardworking members bringing valuable programs such as DLI to Life here in PUSD. When we first began the latest When we began the latest work to innovate PUSD, we vowed in our district vision to provide a safe and supportive environment with exemplary, highly qualified staff. And it would be through our strong partnerships and communication that we would work collaboratively to meet this goal. A few words that I want to highlight in this statement that would be strong partnerships, communication, working collaboratively, and highly qualified staff. These words and phrases are important because we have to step back and make sure we are doing and embodying these tenets that we have written here. I was able to sit down with Board President Anderson this week and discuss life in PUSD. In our discussion, I mentioned the early years here and receiving documents to guide my work. It was always a well-crafted document that was generated through committee work and received board approval prior to implementation. I was nostalgic about this because I had come across a copy of the Elementary Support Team's Handbook. You may be unfamiliar with this handbook because it has not yet been board approved, but it is a document that has been governing the work of our art, music, PE teachers, and academic coaches. To my knowledge, academic coaches wear support, and the art, music, and PE teachers have instructional duties. Somehow along the way, it was decided that the role of these teachers would be changed. It is unknown if a committee was convened to make these decisions. There was no title page with the administrators' names as authors of the document. It is important to know who wrote the document in case there are questions, and indeed I do have questions that remain because the changes to the working conditions of these teachers were made. These changes to working conditions have made significant changes in the way instruction is delivered at particular sites. The document names 4 staff members for support, yet only 3 are being used as support or actually coverage at particular sites. And this has become confusing and actually frustrating for members. When we work together as strong partners, we can ensure that our employees' rights are respected, the learning environment is protected, and we are all treated fairly under our collective bargaining agreement. Speaking about our CBA, as you heard before, we're losing our group again on the interpretation. The word some is now being interpreted as all. All of the collaboration time for professional development, data review, or cycle of entry cannot be utilized. The whole time is there's very little time. 90 minutes throughout a month of planning time is very small and few and far between. So the time needs to be fairly distributed. In Article 8, Hours of Employment, Section D5, the contract states, the music and PE rotations, each full-time K-5 classroom teacher and TK where practical, shall be provided in grade levels for collaboration, planning time, and some professional development may be included. Many admins choose to be fair about this time, but there are several who are heavy-handed and take every last minute of the collaboration time. Some admin even go as far to state that you can't work on instructional materials that they all share. They cannot make copies during this time. This K-5 encroachment of time is demoralizing and can only be seen as micromanagement and disrespect for the tasks that are needing to be done to make sure that elementary classrooms work. Elementary teachers need your support. A direct request from an elementary teacher, please take the time to have direct conversations with teachers and ask how things are truly going at our sites. There are too many pressing issues impacting both staff and students that need to be acknowledged and addressed. Please visit with the teachers. And the same message comes from the middle school. Please visit the teachers, not just the administrators at our school. Please visit with our members to hear their experiences. It would be important to spread out to the campuses on Tuesday, the 14th, and hear from the teachers about the Professional Development Day happening on Monday, the 13th. Having a day to focus on professional development is a great start, but true professional development, especially for curriculum that has been adopted K-12, like language arts has been this year, needs regular, ongoing training with clear goals. I implore you to ask, where are we in the implementation and support phase of the ELA adoption plan? I would ask what professional development has already happened for HMH and what were the results from the feedback that was gathered. How did the feedback help Ed Services modify their plan for ongoing PD in the first year of HMH curriculum? So at the last board meeting, which was a special study session, the board voted to reunify the two high school campuses, the two Paramount high school campuses. It is a delicate balancing act for these administrators that ultimately falls on the shoulders of the teachers for day-to-day operations. With one admin team spread across two campuses, teachers have and will bear the brunt of discipline and simply making PHS continue on each day. It's not impossible, but we must highlight that it will not be easy to let us, it will not be easy. So let's recognize the number of change efforts we're making all at once and allow for grace, starting over, or even taking smaller steps instead of leaps. As we press forward, there are going to be bumps in the road, but let's stick together. Let's communicate with each other, because a strong partnership is what will help us navigate the journey ahead. And this concludes the report of the Teachers Association of Paramount. Thank you.
Thank you. CSCA? Welcome.
Good evening, board members, President Anderson, Superintendent Dr. Lytle, Cabinet, and guests. My name is Maria Anguiano, and I am the CSCA chapter parliamentarian. Fall is here, and we finally welcome the cooler weather. As we settle into our routines this school year and move forward towards our holiday season, CSCA wants to remind our members to stay safely and healthy. It does seem that COVID and cold flu season has kicked off with a vengeance. Many of us have had to call out sick, unfortunately, but if you are ill, remember to stay home and keep yourself and coworkers safe. As always, we also want to give out a shout out to our partners in TAP. We love our teachers, and we are thrilled that we share such a healthy and mutually beneficial relationship. We are stronger together. CA has had another fruitful negotiation session this Monday, October 6th. We covered a lot of language and came to a few more agreements that we will soon sign off on. We want to thank the district for their hard work in meeting us halfway when it comes to agreements. They have been coming to the table with their homework and have been frank and open in their discussion with our negotiations team. We have presented our financial proposals to PSD after having studied the district's budget, and we feel we have made proposals that are not only long overdue, but they are tenable. We were told that now that the district knows what it is that CSCA is requesting financially, this board can give them proper guidance so that we can settle quickly, and we look forward to it. We also look forward to our district PD, our personal development day next Monday. I know that Ed Services Division has put in a lot of work in order to make this possible, and we are thrilled that our members and teachers will get this day of enrichment. It takes a lot of planning in order to pull these days off, and we hope that all of our members can attend. We thank you for your time, and you have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to student board members and school reports. Kayla Vargas from Odyssey STEM Academy.
Good evening, Board President Anderson, Vice President De Leon, board members, Superintendent Dr. Lytle, Executive Cabinet, and audience. My name is Kayla Vargas, and I am one of the Paramount Unified School District's student board members. It is my pleasure to share a quick update from Odyssey. Our back-to-school night was held on Thursday, September 11th, where Odyssey families came together to connect with our school community. Advisors and scholars shared class expectations and highlighted advisory goals for each grade level. By the end of the of the evening, families expressed excitement for the new school year and clear understanding of how to support their scholars' success. We closed out September with our Club Palooza Spirit Week and an engaging Club Rush event. Throughout the week, scholars participated in various lunchtime activities, including karaoke, musical chairs, rock painting, and a spirited soul train. It was wonderful to see both new and returning Phoenixes to explore diverse clubs available on campus, engage in community building activities, and even join new clubs on the spot. We are grateful to our advisors for supporting our interests and encouraging involvement through these clubs and student-led organizations. Our scholars also participated in several meaningful learning experiences beyond the classroom. The freshman class recently visited the Los Angeles Zoo to study biomimicry, which they will apply to their upcoming exhibition projects. Meanwhile, our senior class visited the University of California, San Diego, where they toured the campus and learned about college life and opportunities for higher education. Looking ahead, ASB will host a Halloween Spirit Week filled with themed dress-up days, lunchtime events, concluding with our annual costume contest and BSU-sponsored activity on Halloween. Last month, Marco Rodriguez and I attended the Paramount Unified School District Hispanic Heritage Celebration at Alondra Middle School. It was an inspiring event that honored the significance of Hispanic Heritage Month while showcasing music, dance, art of our talented PUSD students. It was truly rewarding to see the pride and cultural expression across our district. We also attended the California School Board Association meeting on October 6th, where we learned more about public school governance and the responsibilities of student board members. These opportunities have helped us better understand how to serve and represent the voices of students across Paramount Unified. It is an honor to serve as one of the student board members this year. I am grateful for the opportunity to represent Odyssey STEM Academy and contribute to the shared goal of ensuring that all Paramount students thrive academically and personally. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Okay, from Paramount High School, Marco Rodriguez.
Good evening, Board President Anderson, board members, Superintendent Dr. Lytle, Executive Cabinet, and audience. My name is Marco Rodriguez, and I represent Paramount High School. Paramount High continues to be an exciting place filled with student activities, school spirit, and community pride. Our homecoming football game took place on September 12th, and it was wonderful to see so many alumni return to support our Pirates. The homecoming king and queen were crowned during halftime, and although we didn't take home the win, the night was a great success filled with school pride and celebration. The following evening, September 13th, students danced the night away at our Alice in Wonderland themed homecoming dance. It was a magical evening full of fun, music, and pirate spirit. On September 17th, the Red Cross Club held its first blood drive of the year. Our Pirates collected and donated 95 units of blood, our largest drive since COVID. Each unit could save up to 3 lives, and the Red Cross also contributes scholarship funds based on our donations. It's a true win-win for our students and the community. Our Club Rush took place on September 24th, and the event drew a huge crowd of students eager to get involved on campus. Today, West Campus held their own Club Rush, with many senior campus clubs crossing over to recruit freshmen and build excitement for the school year ahead. In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, ASB has been celebrating with live bands performing at lunch. This Friday, students will have the opportunity to participate in arts and crafts activities, and our culinary class will be making churros to share. It has been a wonderful way to honor culture and community on campus. On September 27th, our beginning speech and debate students traveled to Arcadia High School to participate in the Package Deal, an introductory event that allowed students to explore the 4 major areas of competition: extemporaneous, humor/drama, impromptu, and Congress. This experience served as a great introduction for those looking to join our award-winning speech and debate team. Looking ahead, on October 16th, our speech and debate team will be bringing back the beloved Faculty Follies. Staff members will perform for the crowd, and it promises to be an entertaining evening. Tickets are $10, and there will be food available for purchase. We invite everyone to come out and support our talented staff. On October 3rd, Paramount High School took 135 of its finest engineering students to Cerritos College for National Manufacturing Day. This annual event helps address common misconceptions about manufacturing and connects businesses, schools, and students to opportunities in the industry. Students had the chance to explore programs such as cosmetology, machine tool technology, welding, woodworking manufacturing, and automotive. It was an inspiring and educational day for all participants. Tomorrow, October 9th, we will host a pep rally at lunch to celebrate our Inclusive Fit athletes, who will be competing on Friday, October 10th in our third annual flag football tournament, in conjunction with Unified Sports and Special Olympics. This event runs from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Paramount at Pirate Stadium and is truly one of the highlights of the year. We invite everyone to come out and cheer on our athletes and cheerleaders. Our counseling team will also be hosting a mental health awareness conference on Saturday, October 11th from 8:30 to 12:30 p.m. Breakfasts will be provided and there will be giveaways and goodie bags for participants. In athletics, many of our fall sports are celebrating their senior nights over the next few weeks, including girls volleyball, girls tennis, girls flag football, boys water polo, cheer, band, and football. Our next home football game is on October 17th when our Pirates take on Downey. We have several exciting events planned in conjunction with the game. Link Crew will host the annual Freshman Tailgate Party, where freshmen can eat, play games, and get free admission to the game. Our cheer team will also host participants from Mini Cheer Camp, where students from TK through 8th grade will get the chance to perform at halftime alongside our cheerleaders. Several middle school cheer teams will also be joining us for this exciting night. Paramount High continues to thrive with student engagement, spirit, and connection. Thank you for your continued support of our students, staff, and programs.
Thank you. From Buena Vista High, we have Daisy Yepes.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Lythel, board members, executive cabinet, and guests. Buena Vista is so excited to share with you this upcoming events in October. Our presidential election concluded, Inauguration Day came. Congratulations to our students who won. You're currently looking at the new VP. Thank you, thank you. If you have any suggestions on what to do with 5,000 leftover Vote for Daisy pins, please reach out. I really need to know. This week is our final week, and the beginning of our first quarter starts next week after Monday's Teacher Development Day. Teachers are currently considering who they'll be choosing for our student quarter luncheon. I'm looking forward to my 10th lunch in the row. I'm getting a little tired. Red Ribbon Week is coming the 23rd to the 31st. ASB is hosting an advisory competition to bring awareness for Drunk Prevention Week through original creations of videos, poems, music, art, and much more. Every advisory class will compete and the winning class will have a pizza party. Once again, ASB will be hosting our Recreation Day, partnership with Shakaware. Shakaware is having a booth handing out free apparel to our students. Recreation Day is a day we can foster community within our school and celebrate a new upcoming quarter. Accompanying that, we will have board games, origami, a crafty station, basketball competition, and much more. With the spooky season just around the corner, our Eagles are preparing for Haunting Month. Cookie decorating hosted by ASB will be on the 28th. Not only that, but spooky illustration contest will happen the 29th to showcase our students' talents. Then finally, Halloween, we will be hosting a costume contest. The 3 best costumes will be awarded gift cards. After Halloween, we're celebrating Dia de los Muertos. Every year, Buena Vista makes an altar where students and staff can put their loved ones and honor them. We are excited to host Dr. Lythel at Buena Vista on October 16th. We look forward to hiding with you under our desk during the Great Shakeout Earthquake Drill on the same day. You better hide under a desk. The Great Shakeout is when all schools in the state of California prepare for an earthquake drill. Thank you for your time. Have a lovely rest of your night. Have a good Halloween and Dia de los Muertos. Thank you.
Thank you, Daisy. And from Paramount Adult School, Melissa Carvajal.
Good evening, President Anderson, member of the board, Superintendent Dr. Lytle, the Executive Cabinet, and guests. Thank you for the opportunity to share all of the wonderful activities happening on our campus. My name is Melissa Carvajal, and I am a proud student at Paramount Adult School. We began the school, we began the school year with great enthusiasm, both at the Adult Transition Program, also known as PAT, and the Paramount Adult School, or PAT. First, the teachers and the students from the Adult Transition Program begin the school year excited to work together and participate in fun and meaningful activities. The school administration created monthly themes activities to help improve students' attendance. In August, we kicked off the Disney theme, and students at school staff wore Disney attire and enjoy music during the breaks. The month of September was a sports team, and the students and staff showed off their favorite sports team's attire. The Los Angeles Dodgers were definitely the favorite one. Everyone enjoyed cheering for their favorite sports teams. Students have really embraced these themed days, and they look forward to them and come to school excited to participate. Furthermore, the teachers began to take students to community-based instructions, CBI. First, Mr. Alonso took his students to the Irvine Regional Park, where the students took a train ride, explored a haunted house, and looked around the pumpkin patch. His class also went to Stonewood Mall and visited the Spirit Halloween store, where the students were able to practice purchasing items and learn how to handle money responsibility. They are getting ready for Halloween and enjoy looking at the spooky items in the store. Next, Mrs. Alfaro has been busy with her students. They practice riding public transportation and Leawood Mall. There, they walk around and visit many stores, including Spencer's and the bookstore. Esmeralda Shard, I like the bookstore because there are a lot of books to buy. Mrs. Alfaro class also walked to the Dollar Tree and Walmart and practiced purchasing ingredients to bake cookies in the Mac apartment. Looks like we have some future chefs in the making. Next, Ms. Despreciado's class went to Pio Pico Museum in Pico Rivera. The students researched and looked up information about the museum prior to visit the museum. The students had questions about the house and asked if it built with Adobe bricks. The class also practiced riding to the public transportation and visit Leawood Mall and promenade at Downey. The students walked to several food establishments and ate lunch. The students ordered their own meal and paid for their own meal. Finally, Mrs. Cruz walked the students to the Paramount Swap Meet and looked at the various vendors. Several of the students practice walking using walkers or holding hands with their 101 The teachers are creating opportunities for the students to practice independence and helping reach their IEP goals by going CBIs and through hands-on learning experience. The workability coach began working with groups by watering plants, wiping lips, wiping tables, recycling, and making paper flowers. The first group is preparing to start with the Paramount Senior Center. The adult school has also had a vibrant a vibrant start of the semester. The ESL classes are full, and the students are eager to learn. In addition, both the medical assistant programs and phlebotomy begin strongly with high enrollments. The partnerships with Campton keeps growing as well. The cosmetology class in the morning at the evening are thriving and have new faces and to become very popular in our community. There are two vessel courses over on Fridays, Vocational ESL and Childhood Educators 1 and Vocational ESL Healthcare 1. Both classes are full, and the students are striving to earn certificate on completion and begin their careers and their files. Campton College provided the students in the vessel class with backpacks filled with school supplies for personal use. Furthermore, the adult school counselor has been busy organizing visits from Campton College representatives and Southeast Los Angeles County Workplace Development Board, SELACO. During breaks, students meet with representatives to learn about college programs, job training, and career pathways. The counselor also hosted 2 mental health and suicide prevention workshops, where the students share their experience and learn valuable ways to seek help to support others. And finally, both Paramount Adult School and Campton College participate in the Hispanic Heritage Celebration, hosting booths and sharing programs information with the community. As you can see, many wonderful things are happening at the Paramount Adult School, PATS, and CDS. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity to present to the board and the superintendent. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Melissa and Daisy, you are excused. You're welcome to stay, but you may go if you want to go home and do homework. Okay, we're moving on to board member reports, and we'll start with Eddie Cruz.
Good evening, everybody. During this past month, I was able to attend the Paramount High School homecoming game. It was always good to go back to our campus for homecoming. I don't know. It seemed like our cheerleaders, our squads doubled in size. They looked bigger. Our band looked pretty outstanding as well. For my first time coming back to homecoming, I think our band this time around, I don't know, it grew. So great things to see. The alum like to see, right? That school spirit with the cheer, with the band, with our athletes, and even though we didn't win the game, it was a good game. So we'll take it as a Pirate victory. I wasn't able to attend, but I do want to congratulate Dr. Topeka Jones and committee for a successful Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. These cultural month celebrations are very important to our community as much as to myself. Unfortunately, I was not able to make it this year, but I'll see you next year, and definitely at the next one. All right, and that's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you. Diane Martinez.
Good evening, everyone. On Friday, September 26th, I attended the district's annual Hispanic Heritage Celebration, honoring the rich culture, music, and traditions of the Hispanic community. The community was entertained by the following phenomenal entertainers: Hollydale Mariachis, Paramount Park Panther Folklorico, Mark Keppel and Roosevelt School's dual language immersion programs, folklorico dancing by the Orange County School of Arts, and a performance by Sarah Vasquez Torres and Jaylene Perez. I thank the performers who participated in this event. I also want to thank Dr. Topeka Jones and the Hispanic Heritage Committee for the planning of this wonderful event. That concludes my report, President Anderson.
Thank you. Okay, Sonia De Leon.
Good evening, students, families, teachers, staff, administrators, and our Paramount community. I attended the Hispanic celebration at Alondra Middle School. Phenomenal. It was nice to see our performers. It was nice to see our community and be able to engage with our community, to take pictures. It was just an awesome event. There are other awesome events that are happening this month. Of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Filipino American History Month, World Mental Health Day, and United Nations Day. And not to mention, there's more, but I'm not going to mention all. The Red Ribbon Week, which typically is from October 23 to 31st. And with that, it reminds me of the different events that as I grew up, we had Say No to Drugs, which, you know, it was an educational program. There's community involvement. Parents, teachers always tell you, say no to drugs, and which is all is great. And it really reminds me, and it's something that is important to me, because we tell our kids, say no to drugs. And I remember when I was in junior college, I wrote a piece and somehow I had an opening that the teacher really liked. I don't remember exactly what I said or wrote, but it was something to the fact where at schools, teachers tell us to say no to drugs, but then the schools, nurses administer drugs. And what I mean by that, and at that time, in that moment, I really was against drugs, because when you have children that have ADHD, and teachers push, you know, because that happened to my son. It was pushed to the point where I believed always say no to drugs. And because teachers push so much, I ended up putting my child in medication, and this is a narcotic. So I'm hoping, you know, that with time, you know, people are more open and have, you know, really believe in equity, that some kids need movement. Some kids need different programs. You know, I was told by the doctor, oh, well, your child, if he was a hunter, he would have been a great hunter because has movement. If I had to punish him, they would tell me, oh, well, just have him clean the yard. I'm like, that was amazing for him. You know, so I'm hoping that in the future, we really look at education as, let's be inclusive and give kids what they want, right? Because if you look at the classrooms, every classroom is pretty much traditionally the same seating. I can't sit the whole day, and I definitely can't stand the whole day, but I, as a teacher, can move around, but yet we don't offer that to all our students, right? And instead, we have to put them all in a box, and I really hope that with education, we move like other countries that do things that sometimes education doesn't always have to be inside the classroom. It could be outside the classroom, right? And have those spaces where the kids could take a break. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. But if we believe that everybody has to be perfectly seated, I don't see that world where we really could truly honor Red Ribbon Week and say no to drugs, because teachers experience this, parents get said to do this, which I know teachers are not supposed to because we're not nurses or doctors. But with that being said, I just hope that in the future, not too far, that we could change this outlook on how we, you know, because I always tell, you know, if parents ask me, I just say, you know what, I want the child the way they are. And if I have to give them 10,000 breaks, you know, I'll give them 10,000 breaks. But I have my different mindset, right? So I just hope that it changes in the future, and maybe we could keep our kids healthy instead of them being on some type of narcotic. With that being said, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's see. Going back to last month, I attended back to school at Odyssey, Buena Vista, and Paramount High School. I enjoyed all three campuses because they're all individual and unique. And I always enjoy speaking with the teachers, our community, and our students. And I learned so much from our students on things that we need to do for them to make it better every day. I also attended the Hispanic Heritage Festival, And I am so excited about culture and diversity. And I want to say thank you to the committee and Dr. Jones and getting that all together, and to our community who brought their children out on a Friday night to perform. Seeing our kids dance and sing and run around and have tacos together, it is quite an experience. And I think that we need more days like that. I attended the PTA council meeting with the presidents of all of our PTAs and our council and our principals. So it was an important meeting to get everybody kind of working on the same page. It's really important to have parent involvement. It's really important to include our parents. It's really important to all work together because our one common goal is the best outcome for our students. I also attended the homecoming game. I got there at halftime because I was a little busy that day, but I would never miss homecoming because I too am a Paramount Pirate and believe in our kids. Football, I'm a daughter of a football coach. So watching the game was a little bit painful, but I know Pirates, we can do it again next year. I did stay because I have a love for the arts. I stayed for the after show with the band. I always want to see our band perform and the tall flags. And I have to say, our tall flags looked really beautiful this year. And that's all I have to report. Thank you. And I will turn it over to you, Dr. Lytle.
All right. Thank you, President Anderson. Well, just many of the same items to report this evening, starting with our back to school night at our high schools. Had a wonderful time, visiting the schools that evening. That evening made it to Paramount High School, West Campus and Senior Campus for that evening. Our fall sports, as Student Board Member Rodriguez mentioned, are well underway. Looking forward to attending as many of the senior nights as possible within the next couple of weeks. Always look forward to our sports programs. Next thing I want to report on, a few weeks ago, September 15th and September 16th, we kicked off our Future Leaders or Aspiring Leaders Academy on Monday the 15th for our classified leaders, Tuesday the 16th with our certificated leaders. Thank you to our personnel services team for facilitating those times together. It's amazing to see our classified CSEA members, our TAP members aspiring leadership. And, our motto is you can lead from where you are. And we truly believe that leadership development starts with, our current context or current position. And so it was just great to see so many participate this year. Next, I want to report we had the pleasure of attending Los Angeles County Office of Education Teacher of the Year celebration on September 19th. Just as a reminder, Nicole Bottomley from Odyssey STEM Academy was our PUSD Teacher of the Year last year. And we are so proud that Mrs. Bottomley actually made the top 16 in Los Angeles County. Very proud of over 80 plus districts or Teachers of the Year being recognized that day, and our own very own Ms. Bottomley was in the top 16. So congratulations to her, and it's a testament to the great teachers that we have here in our district. As Daisy so eloquently mentioned, I've been out and about at school sites and have some future visits planned. Mr. Lepper, maybe about 10:15, we'll come visit your classroom so we can duck and cover together at precisely 10:16. All right. And so the last couple of weeks, been out to visit Collins, Los Cerritos, Zamboni, West Campus at Paramount High School, Tanner, and Roosevelt, and then continue to visit throughout this month, and we'll have the formal visits at each school site by the Thanksgiving break. Next, as was mentioned, just so proud of our students. Thank you to our committee for our Hispanic Heritage Celebration on that Friday night, September 26th. Just a wonderful, wonderful event. and climate and culture within our system. The only disappointment, I was only about 3 days into my braces, and at my age, I was unable to eat the tacos. I was still on Jamba Juice diet at that point, so that was probably the biggest disappointment, that I could not have all of the great food. But I enjoyed all of the fellowship and the people that came out, our community that came out. So thank you all that participated. Also had the pleasure yesterday evening to participate in our African American Parent Student Network meeting. Thank you, Dr. Jones, for facilitating. It's always great to hear from our parents, and Dr. Jones was sharing some of the data with our African American population, and really just brainstorming what are some strategies we can do to continue to help support our African American student population. So thank you to the parents who came out and contributed to the conversation. You're always welcome, and you know, we do honor and your feedback. Next, it was already mentioned, looking forward to the IncluseFit flag football tournament on Friday. I should get there probably around 10:30ish and stay for a little bit for a good hour and a half or so. So I always look forward to that event. And then last, but certainly not least, next week, we do recognize Week of the School Administrator across California. And you know, we cannot do this work alone. And just want to, I'm just so grateful for our management team, because leadership matters in our schools and across our divisions, our departments within the district. And just want to recognize all of our principals, assistant principals, our deans, our directors, assistant directors, our coordinators and supervisors, program administrators. We make a great team, and I'm just honored to be a part of a system that has such great leadership. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to 8.2, Pupil and Personnel Services, Greatness Through Attendance, Every Student, Every Day.
Yes, thank you, President Anderson. As you can see, come on forward, Dr. Lindsay Gitanda, Deputy Superintendent, Pupil and Personnel Services, and Lisa Kirk, Director of Pupil Services, are going to come forward. And as you know, last month was Attendance Awareness Month in September, and so we wanted to report on all of the wonderful activities, data update, and some of the activities happening to support student attendance. So, Dr. Gitanda.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lytle. Good evening, President Anderson, Vice President De Leon, board members, student board members, cabinet, and community. Thank you for the opportunity for us to talk a little bit about the work that we're doing related to attendance. As you know, attendance is so important, and if our students aren't in school, they aren't learning. And I believe that this really resonates with our mission and our vision, right? We really want to make sure that we have students who are in a safe environment, but in order for them to continue to grow, they have to be present. That said, I want to talk a little bit about why attendance matters. And attendance is one of those things that, you know, it seems like we can miss a day or two, but really once they start compounding, right, and students become what is considered chronically absent, there is definitely an impact on their education. We know that research shows that 17% of students who are chronically absent will not become grade level ready by the end of third grade. Additionally, attendance is also the number one predictor of dropout and graduation rates. In fact, there's a 25% drop in the likelihood that a graduate from high school in 4 years when they're absent between 5 and 9 days per semester. So that's only 10 days absent will really impact the opportunity for students to graduate. Additionally, when it comes to the impact on career and economic outcomes, as we know, students who don't complete high school are more likely to become unemployed. They may live in poverty and are 3.5 times more likely to be arrested and 8 times more likely to be incarcerated and more likely to be victims of crime. And so it's really important that we continue to cultivate the importance of education with our students. Also, the social emotional development. Students who feel connected to school and peers are less likely to engage in risky behaviors, drug use, delinquency, and we want to make sure that we continue to foster that. As we know, when our schools closed during COVID, it was not good for our students, and having them back interacting with their peers is such an important quality for them. And last, when we start talking about school resources and funding, if the community doesn't know, the school districts are funded and we get our revenue based on attendance. And so when students are not in school, it does impact the district's funding. We're not able to give all of our wonderful programs and our opportunities to our students if we're not getting funded. That said, we've made it a district-wide goal, and so we do have this in our local control accountability plan. And so LCAP metric 3.1 is that 23% chronic attendance rate would be where we're at. We're hoping to be below 20, and as of May 2025, we were at 28% TK through 8. We also have another metric, which is metric 3.2 with an attendance rate of 95%, which means that our students are attending 95% of the school year. In May 2025, we were actually at 93%. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our Director of Pupil Services, Ms. Lisa Kirk.
Good evening.
Good evening.
With our district focus on attendance systems, within our LCAP goals, there are actions that accompany the goals with a focus throughout the district on attendance systems. We have a district action plan that was created by our district attendance task force. It includes tiers 1, 2, and 3 actions for school sites and district departments. We are doing trainings on attendance and weaving that in through our safe and civil schoolwork, as well as looking at site level data related to attendance. Safe and Civil just started to review attendance in their trainings this month. We've provided resources for sites that they can use to support the attendance work, such as tip sheets to give to parents, slides for teachers to embed in their back to school night presentations. And with parent conferences coming up, we have some talking points to support staff in facilitating attendance conversations. We are also communicating both celebrations and reminders for our community related to our district and site attendance, and also communication to our sites regarding attendance and how we can support their efforts. Multi-tiered systems of support. So in examining attendance through a research-based framework like multi-tiered systems of support, or MTSS, it allows consistent language to use with our staff. The MTSS framework is how we are building our district attendance action plan with both district and site actions at each tier. So there's tiers 1, 2, and tier 3 with our intensive. Some examples of tier 1 part of our action plan. This is where we have district actions and school site actions for each different month. And here's some examples of some of the tier 1 actions for the district departments, and then what the school sites are doing as well. Here's a great example of a back to school night. You can see that the teacher was speaking with families, and then they've got some attendance matters slides in the background there, and you can see that they were using those for their presentation. We've got Dr. Lytle visiting and helping to deliver some incentives for students with great attendance. Some samples from our PHS attendance wins and activities that they've been doing. We just completed attendance awareness with in September. There's some samples from our Tanner Tigers. And then some of our slogans that we have up around campus. So we created 10 different slogans, and then one main slogan where banners were provided for each of the schools and signage were provided for them. Here we're going to have samples from our tier 2. Here's some examples from our action plan. Tier 2 for each month. There's some actions for district, and then what some of the school sites are doing. These were provided for our sites for when they need to do a home visit. And so this allows the couple of staff members that visit a home to, if they're unable to reach somebody in the home, they can leave these door hangers where they have their business card. And it also lets them know why they came by. I know in the past when they would call, they say, hey, somebody came by the house because, you know, maybe the neighbor told them. This allows them to know what the reason would be for the visit and allows them to connect back with the person who came so that we can ensure that we connect with our families. Here's a great example that we got from Paramount High School. This is an example of an action plan that they've created. These action plans are used as staff and families collaborate to improve attendance for a student who possibly needs Tier 2 support. And then finally, some Tier 3 examples, again from our action plan that is monthly and has different actions for each month of the year. Some samples of district department actions, and then actions from school sites for Tier 3.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our state versus our district attendance rate. And so every year the state comes out with data that allows us to determine whether or not we're making growth and how we compare to the state level. So you'll notice that the state in 23-24, and it is a year behind because the state is a year behind, but for 23-24, the state attendance rate has, chronic absenteeism rate has actually gone down. And so now they're at 20.6, and you'll notice that in 2019-20, there was not any data because of COVID. But PUSD was much higher in 21-22. We continue to go down, but we are still above the state chronic absenteeism rate. Again, our hope is to then be under 20% is really what our goal is. And so it's really important when we're talking about chronic absenteeism that people understand the definition is 10% of the school year or more. At the start of the school year, when there's only 5 days of school, you miss 1 day, you're a chronic absentee. And as the year goes on, 180 school days, chronic absenteeism is 18 days or more. That said, for our chronically absent data on our dashboard, this is for 24-25. Overall, we have actually lowered our chronic absenteeism rate. So this actually, as a district, we are in yellow. The indicators are red is bad, blue is good. And so we're right in the middle, and we've declined to 9.3% with 23.3 chronically absent percent, 23.3% chronically absent students for 24-25. When we look at specific demographic groups, though, we do have one group that continues to be in the red. That is our foster youth. They've actually increased their chronic absenteeism, and it's increased to 28.3 chronically absent. We have a group that is in the orange. While they all have declined a little bit, we continue to have our long-term English learners, Pacific Islanders, our white students, and those who identify as 2 or more races. The rest of our groups are actually in yellow, and you'll notice that our Hispanic, homeless, African-American, Asian, English learners, socioeconomic disadvantage, and students with disabilities are all declining in their chronic absenteeism, which is a positive thing. And that tells us that our efforts at our school sites are actually making a difference for our students. When we look at weekly attendance point to point, and so what we've done is we've looked at the 8th week of school for the last 3 years, you'll find that in week 8 of 23-24, we were at 94.03, 24-25. Last year, we were a little bit higher, but right now we're trending at about 94.15%. Our goal as a district is 95%, and so we're trying to really incentivize and get our schools excited to really work towards that 95%. When we talk about the trends for attendance rate, we continue in terms of overall attendance. In 21-22, the district was at 91%. Then we moved to 92.8. And so we're working our way back to pre-COVID numbers, but we were 23-24, 93.42%, and we're hovering around 93.5 right now. So we continue to make some improvements, but we still have not yet gotten to the point where we were pre-COVID, and we really need to work towards that because, again, our goal is 95%. So with that, I'm going to have Ms. Kirk close with our action steps for the year.
Okay, as we work through this year, we're going to continue our district attendance task force meetings. We have quarterly meetings already scheduled. It was a great turnout at our first one on September 29th, and we're continuing with those. Our school culture and climate teams, the attendance team reviews site level data and they create action steps at the school sites. And through Safe and Civil Schools, school site implementation for Tier 1. And then our school plan, SIPSAs, our school plans and safety plan attendance goals. Attendance goals have been included in both of those documents for each site, and they are continuing, each site is continuing to review data. And then finally, thank you.
Very good. Okay.
And any questions?
Absolutely. Always. So I'm looking at the presentation, and I know our former director, Ms. Pageant, had presented, it was actually October 9th of 2024. And I'm looking at, when I look at, let's see, is it slide? I don't have the same exact slides because you guys had extra slides. But when I'm looking at the LCAP metric, where it says the goal of 23%, but then I heard Ms. Gatanda said that it should be less than 20%, but we have it 23%. And in last year, we had it at least at 19% or less. So I'm seeing that discrepancy. I know the second, I think, or my page says 4, the district focus on attendance system is the same. We had this plan presented previously. And then when I'm looking at slide 11, like we already had an update. I mean, we were on track. The government or anybody was not behind, but I know it's saying that we're behind. So if we could get an update of the 2024-2025 school year, so we can see whether we have come down, because this is, again, the same report that we had last year, October 9, 2024. And then there was a slide, but I didn't see it here before slide 12, which says chronically absent data. And Ms. Gatanda, you went over like kind of like the meter that we're doing better, but I don't have it here, so I can't remember. Where are we at? I think you said we're in yellow.
Yes.
And so how much have we increased our attendance rate? By how much was it?
So that slide is talking about the percentage of students that are chronically absent. And so our chronic absenteeism has declined 8.9% based on the dashboard data.
Okay.
And so
then,
that put us in yellow.
Okay, because I'm like, oh, I don't have that there. I'm looking and looking. And then when I look at slide 13, at least for my reference that I was given, when I look at the previous data from the previous year, the data doesn't match. So when it says 2023 through 2024, it says right here that's 94.03, but last year it was 92.59%. And then when it says in yellow 2024, 2025, 41%, it was actually 93.76%. So I see that there's a discrepancy, and I would want to know, like, where was the data pulled? Because I don't know how the numbers could have changed from last year to this year if they were saying it's a certain percent, right? And then that was pretty much it, because I've seen like the action steps are a little different from last year, but I'm seeing like we're still doing like the same thing. But then again, the goal is 23% when it was mentioned it should be at least 20 or under. And I know last year was 19%. I know it was a lot, sorry.
You know, you're fine. So the LCAP metric, I pulled it directly from the LCAP document. And so when we're writing the LCAP, and perhaps if there's more questions about the LCAP, Dr. Nelson can jump in. But we make goals over time because it is a 3-year plan. And so I pulled this past year's LCAP and what was approved to look at what that metric was.
And if the board remembers that the LCAP each year, we review, we update the data. So what we approved in the LCAP in each of the goals, including the attendance, if the data was pulled from last year, there's an adjustment we make and why we made that adjustment in the current LCAP that we just passed.
So in layman's terms, if we were to tell the audience, well, hey, Board Member De Leon, how much have you improved overall? If we say we started this last year, overall, how much have we improved? What short answer could I give my constituents?
It's a great question. So I would say for chronic absenteeism, we can look at the dashboard data, which I believe is slide 15. Overall, our chronic absenteeism has gone down 14.9%. And then when we look at our overall attendance rate, so that's the rate at which students are attending school, it's not those who are 10% or more absent of the school year, we're about stagnant. We're at, last year we were at 93.5, and on week 8, we are, let me see where week 8 this is the one before. And on week 8, we're trending about 94.15, but it's still only the start of the school year. So we have to kind of look at that attendance rate trend over the course of the school year, because oftentimes we have higher attendance at the start of the school than when we do overall.
You said page 14, because I'm seeing, and I'm going like, wait, I know my numbers, but it's page 12, 13, and then it says 12 again. So is it the second 12, which is supposed to be page 14?
So I have slide 15 for our chronic absent data.
No, yeah, ours is a little off.
Well, slide 12 and
Slide 12 in
with
our
the dashboard.
package. Chronically absent
Oh,
data.
I apologize.
That's all right.
Just going by the PowerPoint.
Got it. Thank you.
But overall, our absentee is declining. So that's a positive. And I do like how you stated. Were you finished, De Leon?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. And I do like how you stated that during the parent-teacher conferences, the teachers are going to be educating the parents on the importance of attending on a regular basis. So thank you for an excellent presentation.
Just real quick, now that I'm in the elementary world, I didn't realize how many parents pull out our kids early from the school day. That is something that bothers me as a school leader in elementary school. Not so much because the kids or the parents are coming to pick up the kids, but I don't know if we realize how much instruction they're missing, especially foundational instruction. And so one of the things that I would like to see is not just at my school, but also at our schools in Paramount, is doing something around educating our parents about the dangers of consistently pulling out students early from school. We have those emergency appointments, understood, but when we just pull out students for other factors, convenience factors, right there and then, that is when we start setting back the students, right? They start missing instruction, math, foundational reading skills. The second thing that we've heard when we do follow up with parents with chronic absenteeism, we need a myth buster because sometimes our families believe, oh, you're just calling because you're not getting your ADA payment. When in reality, I think every educator, actually I know every educator knows and feels that we're calling because we need the student at school so they don't fall behind. That's the true matter. So anything to educate parents is much appreciated. Thank you.
And I would like to say that too. I think it's really important to get away from, oh, you just want the ADA. That I like the fact that that was down the list. Education every day, all the time is what we need. And it really hurts when the kids are pulled out or that they are late. Yeah, we want to make the positive. So thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to 9 consent items. These items are considered routine and may be enacted by a single motion. Any items needing discussion may be moved to the appropriate section of the agenda upon the request of any member of the board. So I will take a motion to approve the consent items 9.2 through 9.47.
Cruz makes a motion.
Martinez, second.
It's been moved by Cruz, second by Martinez. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we're ready to vote.
Okay, online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, moving on to action items. 10.1, Superintendent Resolution 25-32, California Week of the School Administrator, which will be celebrated October 12th through the 18th. I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Cruz seconds.
Moved by Martinez, second by Cruz. Any discussion? Ready to vote?
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
10.2, Superintendent Resolution 25-33, Native American Heritage Month, November 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Cruz seconds.
Been moved by De Leon, second by Cruz. Any discussion? We're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
10.3, Superintendent Resolution 25-34, National School Psychology Week.
Cruz makes a motion.
Martinez, second.
Been moved by Cruz, second by Martinez. Any discussion? Okay, we're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. 10.4, Superintendent Resolution 25-36, National School Lunch Week, which will be the week of October 13th through the 17th.
Martinez approves 10.4.
Cruz seconds.
Been moved by Martinez, second by Cruz. Any discussion? I just have a comment to Maria at Lincoln School. I'll be visiting your cafeteria because you've asked me to work there. Okay, we're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Oops. Okay,
Motion passes 4-0.
thank you. 10.5, Superintendent Board Bylaws. This is to accept the second reading on Bylaw 911.
Motion to approve 10.5.
I second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved by Martinez, second by De Leon. Is there any discussion? Okay, we're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
10.6, Pupil and Personnel Services Board Policies.
Motion to approve 10.6.
Second the motion.
Been moved by Martinez, second by De Leon. Any discussion? We're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, 10.7, Educational Services, Proposition 28, Annual Report.
I'll make the motion.
Cruz seconds.
It's been moved by De Leon, second by Cruz. Any questions or discussion? We're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, 10.8, Educational Services, After-School Education and Safety Plans.
I'll make the motion.
Cruz seconds.
It's been moved by De Leon, second by Cruz. Any discussion? Okay, we're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, and 10.9, Educational Services, Resolution 25-35, request for continued funding for the California State Preschool Program for the year 2026-2027.
I'll make the motion.
Cruz seconds.
Been moved by De Leon, second by Cruz. Any discussion? Okay, we're ready to vote.
Online voting is open. Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. Moving on to information items, 11.1, Business Services, the 2025-2026 monthly average daily attendance for the first month of the school year.
Yes, thank you, President Anderson. Before the board's information this evening is 11.1, our ADA for the first attendance month of the 25-26 school year. And you can see 11.2 are the monthly financial statements for September 2025. And these will now be reoccurring items within the information items section, these two items each month moving forward for the rest of the year.
Okay, thank you. And we are not going back into closed session, so our announcements are that our next board meeting will be right here, November 12th at 5:30 p.m. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
Cruz makes a motion.
I second the motion.
It's been moved by Cruz, second by De Leon to adjourn, and the time is 8:12. And I would like to close this meeting in memory of Glenna Fitzhenry Castillo, a former teacher at Paramount High School. And then we are ready to vote.
Student Board Member Rodriguez.
Aye.
Student Board Member Vargas.
Aye.
Board Member Cruz.
Yes.
Board Member Martinez.
Yes.
Vice President Clerk De Leon.
Yes.
President Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. We'll see you next time.